Hi Pisces, welcome to your Empress reading. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. This is intended to be a romantic love reading, but it may resonate in other areas of your life. Also, this might be or may be yours or your person's moon, rising, or Venus sign. This is part of the Journey Through the Tarot series I am doing, the Fool's Journey specifically, the major arcana. And we come to the Empress, who takes a look at nurturing, what and where you can be nurtured in your life, and by whom. Perhaps your relationship needs some focus, or yourself. Always start with yourself though, right? Alright, Pisces. Empress reading, Pisces, for the whole year. Pisces. Alright, Pisces. The moon, honest to God, this and the Queen of Wands and the Hermit has been coming up like crazy in all the readings. Alright, the moon, Pisces or Cancerium. Two of Wands. Five of Swords. Six of Pentacles. Emperor, that could be Aries. Ace of Wands, whoopsie. Three of Cups. The Hermit, there's the Hermit. Knight of Cups. Alright. So, are you feeling a strong pull for this person, or you need to make some decisions? That's for darn sure. And you need to be open too, right? Oopsie. Why don't you know what to do? So we got the Eight of Swords and the Moon card. You're not knowing what to do. You're not knowing what path to take. All right, Pisces, you got somebody that needs to. They need to own up, is what they need to do. And okay. What's this? Hold on a minute. What's this Two of Wands? I'm getting ahead of myself here. What's this Two of Wands? The Emperor twice. Alright. Time to make some decisions and stop being ruled by fear or trying to kind of outrun what you're not familiar with or what you just don't want to deal with right now. It's time. It's time. Taking your power back, making some decisions, not letting too many things overwhelm you and run away with you. It's this Five of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Is this about you saying what you want and for fear that it might drive the other person away because maybe you want connection and stability and they're like, I don't know yet, I'm not sure about it. It's the Six of Pentacles for Pisces. The Devil, that could be Capricorn. Alright. So this right here is issues with stability, specifically someone who kind of overspends or spends beyond their means, donates their time, gives away too much of themselves or their resources, and it leaves them in deficit. And you're just like, you know what, I'm kind of over that. You could be dealing with somebody that does that, or you do that, but that's kind of a problem that's starting to get in the way of this relationship. What's this? That could be a component anyway. What's this Emperor about? The Star, that could be Aquarius. What's this? Okay, Aquarius. So what's this Ace of Wands about? this Ace of, whoopsie. Too many? What's this Ace of Wands about? The Magician. Good for you. You're not going to be pushed into making a decision too soon. You're going to think about things. And be thinking about some things, about what you want. This is you regaining control. This is you, this is you not going after, not staying somewhere for stability and not going after someone just because of, okay, they can provide me protection or stability or like what someone can do for you, protection specifically, or feeling sheltered or kind of like insulated or buffered. This is you not choosing a relationship based on that. This is you taking the reins and doing it for yourself, but it's going to take time, isn't it? Because part of that is uncovering, okay, I realize that I seek protection and guidance and direction from others because I don't really know what I'm doing with my life or where I'm going. And so you kind of attract someone that the same thing. They get themselves into debt, they overdonate, they might drink to excess, they might use this, they might go that. There's an issue of stability and like attracting like here, that you might be searching out someone that you're looking for protection from somebody who can't give it because they're not stable. They can't even make their own right decisions in their own life. So this is about figuring that out and saying, you know what, I don't need to go find that in relationships. Like if I'm going to have a relationship, I want it to be because of this, this, and this, not because I just want a warm body in the house so that I don't get, I feel safe at night, or so that I can have warm meals cooked for me or things like that. This is shifting your focus and realizing, you know what, it's not so scary. I can look at my own stuff. I can take care of myself. I don't need a relationship for protection or for anything other than because I like the person and I want their compatibility and that sort of thing. So this is you realizing and shifting. This is you leveling up. What's 3 of Cups? 3 of Cups. 9 of Wands. Alright, what's this? Emperor. No, this is a Hermit. Right? Yeah, the Hermit. What's this Hermit about? Got the Emperor twice. Hermit. What's this Hermit about? For Pisces. 8 of Pentacles. Yay! Again, the whole stability. You need to get back to that because that's like your natural state, and you don't need to be around somebody that has no direction or because it's almost like you literally want to protect what you have. You just want things to continue to be stable, but you look to someone else to provide that, and that focus is shifting. For the Pisces I'm reading for, you're now looking to yourself to provide that because you've had it in you all along, but this is doing a deep dive and figuring out it's kind of that whole dilemma that everybody comes to, like, well, I'm afraid to be alone. That can look a lot of different ways. Some people, it's like, well, I don't want to sleep at night in the house with nobody else in there with me. They're so safety, right? But then other people are like, I just don't, being alone feels lonely to them, and they're two separate things. But for a lot of people equate being lonely with being single or being alone, and it doesn't have to be that. So this is figuring out, okay, why do I want to be with somebody? This is working on yourself basically and doing a deep dive on what you want in a relationship, like what you want. Okay, I want someone, I like stability and protection or nurturing in a relationship. Okay, so you like that, but what does that look like when you get it? Well, it's actually kind of suffocating because I've got somebody who's lazy but is just a warm body, and they don't cook me anything, or they don't provide anything, or I'm not able to get close to them because but it's a warm body. You know what I mean? So this is looking at that disconnect and being like, why if I want this, does this show up? This is taking a look at that, figuring out what you want and how to get it. With what you want matching up with what you're getting, but looking at why you want that. Because if you look at it, a lot of times it's like, well, I like the idea of that, but in reality, that's not a really, that's 2 of Wands, by the way, choices. I like the idea of protection and like say, a double income or something. But in reality, they're entitled to their own income, and maybe I'm going to end up liking someone that's not very protective, or they're very independent, so they don't, examples getting away from me, but point being, what you want needs to be looked at and examined, because I think what you think you want and what you're getting because of what you want is not, you're getting someone that, like, if you want protection and stability, you're attracting someone that needs that from you. If you want somebody that's nurturing, you're attracting someone that wants you to be nurturing to them. So there's a disconnect somehow, and this is the year for you looking at that, is what I'm trying to say. That took me 4 minutes. Okay. So this Knight of Cups. It could very well be, though, that there's an offer on the table, and you're not so sure you want to take it. What's this Knight of Cups? What's this Knight of Cups for Pisces? King of Wands. Huh. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want to take it. Maybe you do after all this is cleared up. Like, you know what? I don't want to say yes until we talk about this. We talk about this. Because this is not who we started out being when we were together. Like, you presented yourself to be somebody very secure and stable, and I presented myself to be somebody very nurturing, but in fact, I'm looking for you for the stability and the nurturing, and you're looking for me to provide the financial security. And how did that happen when we're supposed to be two? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of looking at either a person or a pattern of people that you ended up having to provide the very thing that you thought relationship would provide you. And what's showing up here is security and protection and stability and all that. And the people that you're attracting want that from you, and you're just like, well, no, that's, I don't want you to need me like that. And whether or not any of that's good or bad, the point is that the signals are getting crossed. Why? This is about you getting vertical on that and looking at what you want, and if it matches with what you're attracting, and making decisions on that, taking back control of your decision making of what you want in a relationship, specifically stability, and kind of doing a deep dive on that. This feels like a really kind of comfortable, pensive state for you this year, that you don't want. It's almost like, okay, now that the offer's on the table, I don't know if I want it, but I wanted you to offer it to me. I don't know if I'm going to take you up on it, but I wanted the offer. That's what this feels like, because now it's like, well, wait a second. I don't do this lightly, and I thought I wanted this, but now I don't know if I want this. Why? Think about it. This is you wanting to regain control, specifically stability in your life, and you're not so sure that this person can provide that for you. They might be passionate, might be great, might be a lot of fun, but they also have to work on a few things. They have to get vertical on a few issues in their own life. And this is someone that it could potentially be too much weight on the relationship, especially since they might be kind of blind to what they're doing or not doing. It's all like, all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't want someone that's going to be, messy. Like, I don't want that. I mean, I get having bad days, but my goodness, I've worked hard enough to be where I'm at. I don't want to attract someone that's messy. But that's who's showing up. So why? And that question is asked from the standpoint of, okay, provided all things are equal and there's a lot of people out there, the same type of person keeps showing up. So why, if there's all these people, the same type of people keep showing up to me? What's going on? This is kind of similar to, I think it's Aries and it's either Sag or Scorpio. Okay. Oopsie, wrong deck. So now that this offer is here, you're not so sure you want that. I think for the Pisces I'm reading for, you wanted the offer, but now that it's here, you don't know if you want it from this person because this person isn't what they said they were, or you found out some more about them where you're just like, I don't know if I want to be with someone that's going to need me more than they can take care of themselves, you know? Just for Pisces. It feels like you're being needed from and it's not comfortable for you. And yet this is a familiar type of person and you're just thinking, I need to spend some time thinking about this, seeing what's really going on here. Ooh. So that, Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, right? Ace of Pentacles. Stability twice showing up. Money. What else for Pisces? Ooh. It's come up a couple times. Hidden path, the marriage of spirit and matter. So intuition and logic, as above, so below. This is the kind of what is not seen and what is seen. What is like the opposites merging together to make sense out of it and figure out what your next move is. Not understanding something and coming to understand it so that you're better informed. I know that's a simplistic, very simplistic way of putting it, but the point is this is about you synthesizing and making sense out of what you didn't understand before, striving to make sense of that so you have more choice and control in your life. And that you don't keep attracting someone that needs you, come to find out they need you and you're just like, you know, when we first started out, you were independent or you were this or that or whatever, or you were nurturing or whatever, and now you're like the exact opposite of that. What happened and why? For the Pisces I'm reading for, though, stability and it's featured here, and this is someone that might have presented themselves one way but is really heavily in debt, or just has some really bad habits that they can't seem to get control of, and you're just like, I don't want to deal with somebody that's like, okay, that one, okay. So as all of these readings have shown, this is about focusing on yourself and what you want. For this reading in particular, this is about figuring out why the same type of person keeps showing up when you want to date or in a romantic partner for you, and getting real clear on that so that you can have that fulfilling relationship that you want. Making different choices, understanding why you made the choices you made, and getting clear on that and making different choices so that you can have that romance that you want, that relationship that you want, that job that you want. What else for Pisces? Alright, Two of Swords, I think that's reversed. Knight of Wands. Forgot now what looked, I think that's, no, I think that's, what you call it, upright. think that's upright. Yes, it's upright. Okay. Oopsie. Should have a chart somewhere. Getting some water. Hold, please. Bear with. Okay, so Knight of Wands, that could be Leo. And this is Two of Swords. So perhaps what was going full speed ahead is now not. There's been like, oh, nope, the deal breaker, deal's off, calling everything off, not sure what we're going to do. I need to sit and think about things, and I want to regain some semblance of control in my own life first. So perhaps this is a temporary breakup, or you kind of pump the brakes on things progressing further because you've realized some things and you're like, I don't know if I want this anymore. I don't think I want to do this. Everybody leave me alone so I can think. So perhaps there's an offer on the table. Specifically, someone might maybe wanting to move in. And you're just like, need to think about that for some time. Maybe the better part of this year. I don't know if moving in is on the table for us. And it's because you're wanting to level up. Perhaps you want to be more independent and pursue other romantic interests and offers and not just one person. Maybe you want to date. Maybe you don't want to be locked down with just one person. After seeing what's out there looking for you, maybe what's looking for you, you're not looking for, and they're finding you first. And you're just like, until I find someone, I don't want to agree to anything because I'm finding out they're really messy once I get to know them. So maybe this is you realizing, you know what, I just kind of want to date. I don't want anybody picking me. I want to pick my person after I've thought about stuff. Okay. All right, Pisces. I end here. I hope this was helpful. This is the High Priestess to me, by the way. So just intuition, the force is strong. Intuition's showing up also to help guide. And Empress would tell you that, you know what, keep your options open and go after what you want and figure it out. You can create it. You don't have to wait for someone to choose you, and you don't have to stay where you are with this person, especially if you find out that they're a lot more different than they presented themselves to be and led you to believe. The undercurrent here is being a bit disappointed in what you've realized and found out about this person and wanting better and more and different. And backing off, or at least kind of really slowing things down so that you can take a look at, because all of a sudden now there's kind of this breach of trust, or like, you know what, things aren't what they seem. What's really going on with you? And that leads you to going, you know what, I need to be left alone for a while, because why do I keep attracting the same type of person? So it's self-focused, but it leads to better relationships as a result. Okay. All right. Thank you for stopping by, Pisces. I hope this was helpful. I hope to see you in the next reading. Love and support to you. Take care.